In this video, we're going to be sharing with you 6 tips to help you win your next bikini comp. Hi, my name is Mark Atobry, owner of Enterprise Fitness, and we have collectively trained over 260 first place winners here from bikini, fitness, bodybuilding, figure, you name it. We know a thing or two how to get you looking your best on stage and winning. So let's dive in. Point number 1, start with a good foundation. So what does that mean? Probably the best way to explain this is to give some stories. I've had it happen many times in my career where people have walked in 10, 20, 30 kilos sometimes, overweight. And let's take, for example, the person who's 30 kilos overweight and they've said things like, I want to compete in the next 12 weeks or 24 weeks. And I've simply stopped the conversation at that point and said, look, for you, it's going to take us 6, 12, whatever it is, it's going to take us months to get in shape. We want to get you at a good standard. So the way I like to think of it is you don't do a show to get in shape. You get in shape, then you do a show. So you want to start with a good foundation. Now, what is a good foundation? Now, depending on what federation, depending on your look, depending on where you're competing, you certainly don't want to blow out because it is going to take you a lot longer to get ready. If you're a female bikini competitor, obviously that's a much softer look. But again, you don't want to be 10 kilos, 20 kilos overweight from when you're going to do your show. So you want to start with a solid foundation. Again, for a lot of people, they don't have the muscle mass. So you want to make sure that you've got a reasonable level of muscle mass, again, provided on what division you're competing in. If it is bikini, then you need to have some muscle, not too much. If it is bodybuilding, you don't want to start skinny because then when you diet down, you're just going to get skinnier. Point number 2, plan. And this is where the help of an expert and an expert coach is really going to help you plan out your phase. So a lot of people like to jump into fat loss, or they do fat loss all year round. And that's a huge mistake, especially if you're looking at competing. You need to plan out your phases of training. When are you going to focus on getting stronger? When are you going to focus on hypertrophy? When are you going to actually focus on getting lean? Because for a lot of people, when they start a comp prep, they're kind of deluded a little bit. They want to get as lean as they can the minute they've decided to do a prep. But that's not always the way you want to do. You want to get as lean as you can a week out, on the day of the show. You want to be your best on the day of the show, not a week out of the show, not 2 weeks out of the show, but on the day of the show. So planning that schedule. Is it going to take you 12 months? Is it going to take you 8 months? As a reasonable guideline, you definitely want to plan, if it is your first show, for at least 24 weeks, if not 36 weeks. Have a plan. And this, again, is where a coach, an expert coach who has expertise in this, is really going to be able to help you. And if you need a hand, obviously you can reach out to us here at Enterprise Fitness. Point number 3, control your urges. So on this one, it's again sticking to your plan. So once you have a plan, it's going to be much, much easier to stick to it and controlling those urges. So it is quite normal throughout a contest preparation that you're going to get maybe a little bit hungry and you want to eat something outside of your diet, or you're not having that many calories, so therefore you want to overeat or something like this, or you don't feel like doing your cardio. But the biggest thing, and I like to quote Warren Buffett for this, which is quite unusual considering I'm talking about getting up on stage in a bikini and I'm quoting, the richest or second richest man in the world. But it was Warren Buffett who said, you will never learn to manage money until you learn to manage your emotions. And look, the same thing is true for getting up on stage and having a great contest ready physique. Unless you get a handle on those emotions, you're always going to be at the whims of them. So have a plan, let that plan guide you, not be at the whims of your emotions and what you feel like eating. You should have a good structure of when you're going to have high calorie days, when you're going to refeed, when you're going to introduce different foods. Don't make them emotional decisions, make them conscious decisions and make them planned out, well thought out. Have that plan and stick to it. Point number 4, have a coach. And there's a big difference between coaches in comp prep industry. There are coaches that are very, very studious and professional and are able to keep you on track and get back to you within 24 hours and do all the right things. And then there are those coaches who are online, send you the same diet they send everyone, send you the same program they send everyone. Obviously, you want to invest in a coach. And in this industry, often you do get what you pay for. So don't look for the cheapest, because the cheapest often is cheap for a reason. Look for someone who has a track record and who you click with. And again, someone might have had some success, had a couple of lucky breaks. What you will notice in terms of picking coaches, you want to see people who've stood the test of time. Those who haven't, who are kind of flash in the pans, you want to be very wary and cautious of. But the ones who are able to continuously produce results time after time, they're the ones you want to be looking at. Point number 5, learn how to pose. Now, I've seen this happen at many contests where the best physique doesn't always win. And why is that so? People go, oh, you got robbed, you got cheated. Well, they didn't win because they didn't present what they had. They actually looked terrible on stage and they couldn't do any of the poses. If you do decide to compete in physique sports, regardless of whether it's bodybuilding, figure, bikini, or fitness, you need to learn stage presence. You need to learn how to hold your body. You need to learn how to present your best. If that scares the shit out of you, get a posing coach. Practice until you get good at it. And yes, the first time you do it, you'll probably suck. And for people who've never been on stage before, you probably will feel a little bit uncomfortable. But again, if you're planning on getting super lean and presenting your best, you need to learn it. You need to learn how to pose. So definitely do not underestimate this point. It can very well be the difference between winning and losing. And point number 6. Enter the right division. So today there are many divisions and many federations, from the ICN to the IFBB, the WBFF, and inside of those organizations you have many different categories, from the diva, the bikini, the figure, sports model. What are all those divisions? What are they all? They all want something different. So sometimes the difference between winning and losing can simply be picking the right division. One thing I don't advise is or oversubscribe to categories and oversubscribe to federations. And what I mean by oversubscribe is don't necessarily try and do everything, because that's going to burn you out and also be quite expensive. So rather, again, this is where a good coach, someone with a good eye, can tell you, yes, I think you'll be good in this division, but depending on how you want to look, what is your ideal vision? If you want to come in super lean and shredded and muscular, and you're a female, you're probably looking at a figure division. If you're obviously a guy, you want to come in a little bit softer, you're probably looking at a sports model division. If you just want to be as big as you possibly can and as lean as possibly can, that's bodybuilding. So this is where really people's individuality of where they are and also what their physiques suit. Sometimes the tweak of winning and losing can just be getting in the right federation, getting a federation that supports you, obviously, but getting in the right category of that federation as well can be absolutely crucial to your success. I hope you have enjoyed these 6 tips to winning your next comp. If you've liked this video, give us a like. It really helps us out. And if you really like this video, reach out to us at Enterprise Fitness. My team here have trained over 260 first place winners in physique sports. Folks, till next time, train hard, eat well, and supplement smart.